Good afternoon. In case you're wondering what the one slide for today is, missing part of my bio is I actually started working for the government. This is from 30 years ago in officer training camp in the infantry. And back then, the mission was to keep the communists out. The reason why I picked this one, I actually had the chance to show it at our recent board meeting, and Adam Chowaniak here is our fearless general, chairman of the board. The reason I chose to pick this one is this eerie feeling that I'm sure all of you are feeling, that we are at war. Let me backtrack a little bit by what I mean that we're at war. When I started my career in semiconductors here in Ottawa, this was back in the late 1980s, we used to be building, manufacturing our own semiconductor devices. We would innovate our own semiconductor processes. We would have packaging, testing, CAD tools, everything was developed here. And then we reached a conclusion that fabricating was way too expensive. We should get out of that. And we started going down the fabless route. And then somebody realized that, well, the fabless route is actually way too expensive. Maybe we should go down the IP route and litigating over patents. I think you all see where I'm going with this. I have had the honor of being at war for the last 30 years, only to see ourselves getting our ass kicked, retreating every time, and always finding an acceptable excuse for why we were getting our ass kicked and retreating out of what made us leaders in this industry. So, can't go back on the past, can we? The one thing we can do, however, is to look at where we are today and how do we get back in a position of leadership, fight, and win? Well, fast forward to today. I am CEO and founder of a Fabless Semiconductor company, which makes me a little bit of a dinosaur, or a slightly more evolved form of a dinosaur, which would be a canary. And we all know what canaries are used for. I think we have a fighting chance. This is why I'm back in it. The question is, how do we go about winning? If I look at the fundamentals of the few great Western companies that we have today, and this is not just a Canadian phenomenon, believe it or not. This is a Silicon Valley phenomenon also. I've had investors in Silicon Valley tell me that semiconductor companies are not getting finance today. Software companies are, and the next Facebooks are. There's more value perceived in saying, hey, yo, what's up? Want to get a beer tonight? Yeah, okay. Than there is in creating products. Wealth is building products, it's manufacturing. The Chinese understood that, they understand that. So somehow we got to get back to understanding that. So how do we win? Quite frankly, we have to out-innovate and out-risk-take the competition. There is only one thing we're left with. The fabs are gone. Much of the technical expertise that is state-of-the-art in how you manufacture these things is gone, and it ain't coming back. And the reason it isn't coming back is Moore's Law. Moore's Law is not just about the complexity of the devices we do, it's about the cost of building fabs and the cost of the infrastructure to build this. So the only thing we're left with is imagination, guts, and appetite for risk. An appetite to step out of the box and dare to fail. And quite frankly, there just is not enough of that to continue to sustain ourselves. So the options will be that we either overcome that barrier at the regulatory level, at the policy level, at the financial level, or we'll find yet another reason to say why we lost the hill, we retreated once again, and we're moving on to something else. I don't know about you, but another retreat does not sound very attractive to me. I understand there's a few of you that are aspiring entrepreneurs in the room. Actually, I appreciate a little bit of a turn of hands. Who here is an aspiring entrepreneur? You've been a long-time entrepreneur, thank you. I mean, the only way we're going to win at this is we're going to have to out-innovate. And by out-innovate, we're going to have to go after greenfield opportunities. I've managed, by sheer luck and a little bit of determination, to get a Fabless Semiconductor company financed in this city. I'm still pinching myself over that and over how difficult the fundraising environment has been. So the last thing you want to do is give up. You got to develop some persistence. The second thing you got to do is, the only way you're going to win is you're going to have to tell something that is so outside of the box that most investors will think you're crazy and laugh you out of the room. Quite frankly, those are the assets we got. That's what we got to do. So how do we win? I think there's inspiration to be found in companies like Qualcomm and a number of fabless semiconductor companies that have figured out that this industry is really about going after greenfield markets where the rules of the market are not set yet because you have a first mover advantage. The challenge of doing that is now you got to get that financed, and it isn't cheap. You are talking, for the average semiconductor company, fabless semiconductor company, anywhere from $20 to $50 million to get to break-even point. So to those of you who are about to undertake the challenge, best of luck. Arm yourself with deep faith. You got to dig deep. And if you don't have that deep well, it's hard times. For those of you who do, hang in there. Dare the impossible. Dare to dream what everybody will think is crazy and radical, and where 99% of investors will walk you out of the room. Because that is the fighting chance we got. How many people in the room in the policy level? One. I wish there were more of your colleagues, because I actually changed my speech. I came here with no written notes, but a lot of deeply held beliefs to communicate. And I believe that there is an opportunity at the policy level to reinforce the fighting chance we have left. And I think it is important to have a severe look at how we devise our policies, ranging from the regulatory processes that we surround our companies with, the ways in which the different policy level people remove barriers from entrepreneurs and remove barriers from those who would dare to be crazy enough to invest in those entrepreneurs. There is a fighting chance. It's going to take some hard decisions, and it's going to take a lot of willingness for us to dare to fail.